Sunday night sound session with John Moore and DJ Hyphen on KUBE 93.
Our favorite MCs in the building.
Sure, this is Mr. Kardinal Offishall, a.k.a. Celebrity Face.
Yeah. That's right there. All right, so we were talking just a second ago off air. You've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately or unfortunately, people are finally starting to catch up. Finally starting to wake up.
Not a minute. You've been doing it for a couple of hours.
Yeah, exactly. Over a decade. Been in the game for a long time. We've got a lot of younger listeners on our show.
Yeah.
Or maybe just hearing you now with the new song with Akon, Dangerous, that's tearing it up. But let's take it way back. When did you first get inspired to get involved with music?
Man, I don't even know if it was really inspiration. Like, the funny thing is, it's like people, just the way that it sounds sometimes, that, like, you know, you've been in the music game for a minute, people are like, oh, this nigga, he must be like 50. Sorry. Is this a person?
You good. Do you think?
Yeah, we'll take you out later. I kind of like the cursing.
Cool. But it's like, I've been doing this since I was literally like a little kid, you know what I'm saying? And just coming up where we came up in our hood, like, that's just what we did. We always emulated our favorite MCs. I mean, back them times, our favorite beatboxers, our favorite whatever, you know what I'm saying? So my mom, believe it or not, was actually the person that got me to write my first verse. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember it?
It depends on which one it was. There was Black is Back. What was it? Black is back, that's right, don't attack the black. Yo, we in full effect, Jack. Black on black, you're killing our own kind. What's wrong with your mind? Hey, I thought you were a smart man. Do you work for the Klan or some other racist crew? Tell me, what is it that you do? Rushing stores and committing crimes. Don't you know that just leads to time? Black people break the stereotype, do like Chuck D, don't believe the hype. You know what I'm saying?
How old were you when you read that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's at least like one of the earlier ones that I actually remember.
No doubt.
Probably because we used to perform in all the little contests, the little malls, you know what I'm saying? All that crazy stuff. So that stuff just never leaves my brain.
Explain to us how you picked your name, Kardinal Offishall, because it's one of the most misspelled and mispronounced names out there.
Ever in history.
You know what I mean? And according to the net, your previous name was Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So, you know what? I can thank the damn Baker Boys for that reason. That's the first interview I did where they put me on blast with all that mess. I was in college, not even college, no, that was high school, sorry. I was in high school, early out, and we were in history class, and, like, if you think American history is boring, imagine Canadian history. So, you know, I was in history class early out, and he was just sitting there, and it's just one of those days where we were reclining in the chair, and, you know, you hear the Charlie Brown, wonk, 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 wonk. Yeah. But there was this dude that we were studying, his name was Kardinal Offishall. And he was a tyrant and blah, blah, more Charlie Brown. But he had this thing that's called the Political Testament of Kardinal Offishall. And basically it just had all these different, like, guidelines that he used to live his life by that helped keep him in power and help keep the people down and whatever. And just a bunch of different stuff. But he had a couple of things in there that was kind of ill, like that if you flipped it and used it in a positive sense, I guess, and applied it, you know what I'm saying, towards... I guess current society. I just thought certain things were ill. Like I haven't even gone by that for I haven't even read. I used to have like on my binder at school. I used to have the Political Testament taped to my joint. So I used to read it all the time. But just stuff like never let the commoners think that you are better than them. You know what I'm saying? So even though he was this tyrant, he used to, I don't know, play some kind of mind game with them to think, you know, I'm a man of the people. But, you know, in reality, he was actually using that whole concept to gain their trust so that he could F them up. You understand what I'm saying? And I kind of use that not for my fans to be like, yeah, I'm just like y'all. And you know what I mean? And pull the wool over their eyes. But it's one of them scenarios where it's like, I don't really look at myself like when people meet me, they're like, oh man, you're so cool and whatever. It's like, to me, I ain't into all that superstar stuff. Because in all honesty, like, it's been a real letdown to meet certain artists. And it's like, this is somebody that you might have looked up to your whole life. And then when you meet them, you're like, F this guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we should have like an on blast segment.
Man.
We just name our two people each that we've met.
Go for it. You want to start us off?
We want to do the Nah, we ain't gonna
Kardinal,
do
you
that.
can't do that. You're an active artist. You kind of got to
I
be.
can definitely still get some checks off. So.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll chill. We'll keep that off here.
We'll save that for our next show.
No doubt.
But I mean, yeah, that's really where I got it from. And then the other like, I didn't want to have a name that anybody else in the whole world had. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be that MCT Bone or, you know what I'm saying, whatever, young somebody or little somebody.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? I wanted to have an original name, and it's like I was just thinking of, you know, all the groups that I grew up loving. They definitely were like one of a kind, so I wanted to be one of a kind, and then I wanted everything I do to be official, but I just spelled it Offishall to have that swag, but clearly that hasn't worked all the way up until 2008 because they just totally disregard the way that it's spelled and they put their own thing on it and say it every other way, but it's all to the good. At the end of the day, as long as the music gets out and the music sounds, you know what I mean, the way it's supposed to sound, then we good.
Oh, completely. So right there, earlier you mentioned from Canada, obviously. If people don't know, you're from Toronto.
Toronto, home of the Raptors. Shout out to Chris Bosh. I do it every time.
Yeah, no doubt. Chris Bosh seems like a cool dude.
Chris Bosh is the coolest.
Yeah, he's like hilarious.
Like, it's funny, like sometimes he's actually like too cool. Like,
Yeah.
he's one of those people, like, you know, making umpteen
Yeah,
million
yeah,
dollars
yeah,
and
yeah.
like has a gazillion fans around the world, and he's just like, you know, what's up, Kardi? What's going on, man? Like, he's just chill. So shout out to Chris Bosh. We actually, I hosted his birthday party, the last one that he had. Me and Cypher Sounds, he was playing and I was hosting,
That's dope.
and we had a ball. So shout out to Chris Bosh. He's a good dude.
Nice. Well, we wish him the best because they're about to go into the Olympics.
Mhm.
Although I'm not sure, is there a Canadian basketball team? Are you guys in the Olympics? Are you taking us on?
I don't even know, B.
I was gonna say I don't think Steve Nash is playing, but anyway. But when people think of Toronto, at least I usually think of like the diversity of the city.
Yeah.
How did that affect you coming up in terms of the music you were making, and then how did Toronto shape you as an artist?
Well, you know what it is, like, it's Toronto is so crazy, and like the reason why I love Toronto, as far as how could I put it, the cultural diversity goes, is it's like, although a lot of us are first generation Canadians, you know what I'm saying, with our parents that came from wherever they came from, like coming to Canada, it's a cultural mosaic, meaning that all the different ethnicities blended together are actually what makes up being a Torontonian or being from Canada. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a little bit different here in America. You know, you guys have the whole melting pot philosophy where you come in and it's red, white, and blue, which is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, but a lot of times you kind of have to dump where you came from until there's that one special day where you celebrate, hey, my parents are actually Greek, or, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, my ancestry is African or whatever. Like, in Canada, especially in Toronto, you grow up embracing your heritage and your culture. And in Toronto, there's a huge West Indian population. Now, my parents made sure that I was born in Toronto so that I could, you know what I'm saying, I was able to get just all the best things that Canada had to offer, you know what I'm saying, as far as being a Canadian citizen. And
yeah, we could use your healthcare.
you know what I'm saying? The funny thing is, even we cry, no matter how dope it is, you always cry. We're like, oh man, you gotta pay like $10 for this now, where it used to be free. Meanwhile, it's like when I come here and I talk to some of my friends who are DJs, they're like, listen, I don't go check the doctor unless like something turned green or like it can't move anymore, because they're like, dude, like what's free for y'all is like $3 grand, $4 grand for us. No doubt. I don't understand all that. But, I mean, you know, just back to the whole diversity thing, Toronto is just real ill. And just being able to grow up and be proud of where my family came from and who we are as a people, I had no choice but it to come out in my music, or else I wouldn't be true to myself. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people wonder, you know, where does the whole, you know, West Indian influence come from in his music? Really and truly, that's just what it is. Like, that's where my vibes come from in Toronto. You see what I'm saying? That's where the energy is. Like, what you need to know is, like, I don't know how it is out there in America, but in Toronto, when we came up, we were heavily influenced by hip-hop, but also by reggae, by dancehall, by soca, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of different things. So that's why I got all this energy when I'm on stage, because that's all I know, you know what I mean? So as much as I might have been a hard fan of NWA, KRS-One, and A Tribe Called Quest, we also grew up on Super Cat, Ninja Man, Bob Marley, and Peter Tosh. You know what I mean? So for me, it's the best of both worlds. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just personally,
No doubt.
you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes where y'all was thugging it a bit too hard with the Ice Cube, we was definitely bubbling in the dance. You know what I'm saying? To Shaba, and you know what I mean? We was able to get our sexy on at an early age. So, you know.
He said, yeah, no.